Hello, everyone. Welcome back to the Test channel. Thanks for joining us. We're in February, MacGillivray month. And back with me tonight is my friend Ron MacGillivray. He's with Clan MacGillivray International. He's the U.S. Commissioner East for that organization. And today we'd like to focus in a little bit on the episode of the Battle of Culloden. That's upcoming pretty soon. It will be the anniversary of that. And some people will be there dedicated and to memorialize those who fell there. So we'd like to talk about MacGillivray's part in that. How you doing tonight, Ron?
Very good, and you, Ray.
Good, thanks. And thanks for coming back. Well, we just got together a few days ago and we talked about our New England calendar and what dates we were going to try to get together at. And there's about 10 stops on there, so take a look at that. I call it the Chestnut Trail, I think. That's on the channel, so take a look for that video. It's like 8 or 10 minutes, I think. Right, so the Battle of Culloden is coming up pretty soon. The anniversary is April the 16th.
That's correct.
Right?
April 16th, 1746.
Yes. The climax, I guess you could call it, of what's called the 45, right? That started the year before it.
Right.
Or I should say
That's
rumbling.
when the whole thing got going.
I'm sure there was rumblings for a few years before, of course, like anything else, but the actual physical happenings, right? So I know that there was a Clanhattan regiment, and at the time, the Clanhattan was led by the Macintosh chief, but he was not the leader of this Jacobite regiment, which is a very interesting part of this whole thing, right, Ron?
Right. It's the Clanhattan Regiment was consisted of 350 men with Alexander MacGillivray of Dunmaglass, chief of the Clan MacGillivray, for Lady Anne Farquharson Macintosh, Colonel Anne. She's the wife of the chief of the Clan Macintosh and captain of the Clanhattan Confederation. And she, because her husband was fighting on the opposite side, she decided that she had to do something about that. And she put together a Clanhattan regiment and put Alexander in charge.
Indeed. 27 years old only.
Yeah. They call him the red-haired MacGillivray of Dunmaglass. And he was the first to pass through the infantry lines of the Hanover Regiment, Hanoverian Regiment, I should say. And it was an utter disaster, the whole thing. But at least 150 MacGillivrays participated in it. That's the big thing here is that there was 6 officers and the rest were regular folk who joined the fray.
It's quite a showing. 150 MacGillivrays. That's a lot to be proud of. My goodness.
Yeah. I mean, it was let me give you a little. There was Colonel Alexander MacGillivray, of course. He's the one that led them. And then there was Major John Moore MacGillivray. They called him the Big John of the Muskets.
Yes. Yes.
Yeah.
There's a word named Gask in there. I saw. Do you have that?
Yeah, muskets of Gask.
Yeah, Gask is apparently a place. I think in Strathnairn, I think where they lived.
Yeah.
Gask that's what Gask refers to. I wasn't sure what that was. Sometimes people pick up a nickname after a battle,
right?
Even though he was killed there, perhaps, or whatever.
Yeah, he was.
Yeah. It said he killed 12. He killed 12 men and was seen running to the rear, is what I wrote down here. As he was
Yeah,
at that point, he was brought down.
yeah, he was shot and killed. And there was Captain Farquhar McGillivray.
Yes,
He was a younger of the Delcombray.
right.
Uh, he was one of the three officers of the Chatham Battalion who escaped from Culloden. It was Captain Alexander McGillivray is another one in of Lonnie of Petty.
Mhm.
Alexander McGillivray of Petty
Okay,
was a taxman, the younger brother of Delcombray.
right.
Yeah.
One of
And,
these was only 16. I forget which one. I suppose the younger one. I don't think there's anyone younger than that there. I hope not. But at any rate,
yeah. Who was that? That was
uh,
which one?
well, I thought the Farquhar was the 16-year-old, but I do have also that Alexander was his brother. I'm not sure older or younger, but the guy they're calling the younger is 16 years old, but that's a title, right?
Yeah.
Doesn't mean he's younger
Yeah.
than somebody.
Right. And that was Farquhar.
Okay, right.
And we had Robert McGillivray of Petty. He was a farmer.
Uh-huh.
He was another one of the officers that died on the battlefield. And Archibald McGillivray, who was Robert's brother, he volunteered, having just returned from South Carolina.
Yes, I read this. Yes.
Yeah, he survived and went on to lead the Davio family.
Mm-hmm.
And there's William McGillivray of Dumnor Glass. William was the brother of Alexander and Major and of John Moore, the Muskets.
Yes, right.
And he gained the rank of captain in the old 89th Regiment,
Right.
raised in 1758.
Yeah, so that's now we're talking what 6 years later. He's in a government regiment, but
Right.
this is just what happened. You can't say what's he doing there. Well, you could say it,
Yeah,
but
I know.
this is just what life was, right? He
Yeah.
ended up, yeah. Uh, at any
And
rate,
then there was a whole slew of others who either fell or surrendered because yeah, they surrendered because they were afraid for their families.
hmm,
That if they didn't turn in the turn themselves in, their families would have been uh in serious harm's way.
sure they would have burned their homes, and who knows?
Right. Well, they did burn some homes anyway, but they did it to prevent further damage.
I'm sure that some that surrendered were uh, summarily hanged or transported as well.
Right.
You might succeed in keeping your land, but you might not live to see that it kept by your family, perhaps, unfortunately, in a lot of cases, right?
Yep.
Um,
I know.
yeah.
There was some tough times back then. I mean, it wasn't they didn't fool around. That was
Hmm.
you do or you don't.
Right. Um, now I had a little piece I put out a little while ago about I think last week about Alexander there, Alexander McGillivray of Dunmaglass, and in the question of whether there's a story about he might have been it's one theory or one angle of it that he was asked to that he might not have been the leader of it had not certain elements taken place with Lady Mackintosh and such.
Right.
Um, I I can't recall the Mackintosh now, but one of the sub chiefs, you might say, of Macintosh was really meant to lead this, or thought was in line to lead it, you might say, but there was a couple of tricks pulled behind the scenes, you might say, or threats issued about certain things to change things around, you might say. That's
Yeah.
one tradition says that, and that's one of the videos that I put out. It's an interesting angle to it, involving the Campbells,
Oh,
right?
that I don't know about. Tell
He
you.
was he was engaged to a Campbell. It's in this green book that I have. He, meaning Alexander, was engaged to a Elizabeth Campbell, I think, and she told him that he better lead this, or we're through, and we're not going to be married. And so it turned and one of those sub Macintosh chiefs, like I said, was in line to run this to lead the regiment, and he was asked to step down and not lead it by Lady Macintosh in order for Dunmaglass to come forward and do it, according to this story.
Okay.
Um,
That I did not know, but that's interesting.
yeah, isn't it? And that guy actually went home and didn't take part in it, kind of snubbed it. He said he wouldn't. He said, "I'll step down, but I'll also not be led by a MacGillivray." So he went home. I forget what house he's from now, but take a look at that, folks. It's just called Alexander MacGillivray of Dunmaglass, but
I don't know if you know the Well of the Dead. That's where Alexander ended up after he crawled to the well after he was shot, and
yep,
it, this it was a spring of water, and he died there, and it's still there today.
yeah.
Celebrating. I'm not celebrating, but
Part of the legend that's also in this book is him being well, they came to get him after a number of days to retrieve his body, and it was supposedly lacking any decomposition of any kind. That's one of the legends of it. Certain kind of moss was over the body or something in the field there at the battlefield, and apparently he appeared as if he had just passed away an hour ago or so.
yeah,
We took him to that church at Petty, right, Ron?
right. And he was buried across the threshold.
That's a connection with many of our clans, I would say, a good handful of the 12 at least, maybe or more. That Petty crypt and surrounding grounds there, I think there's several different clans.
All
MacPhail,
right.
I think for one, Macintosh certainly, I want to say. But
Yeah.
um, keeps coming up in many of our talks, Petty, crypt at Petty, church at Petty.
They and right now it's we Clan McGilvery has been trying to raise some money to try and buy the Petty graveyard
Is that right?
because it's I guess somebody they were up for sale or something like that. I don't know the specifics of it, but it's it's a something that is in the works anyway.
Yeah, it's been in some rough shape. I guess the rafters are coming down on it, and or at least that's what it was maybe 10 years
Yeah.
ago. I'm talking now. I think there's been some talk or work done to it. I'm not certain of that, but um, right. So they took him and brought him there because, and they had to even probably do that at nighttime because it was you're risking their
Yeah.
life, right? They risked their lives, folks, to just bring him there, right? They risked their own
Right.
life.
They did.
Yeah. I mean, you're memorializing a rebel, right? And that's an illegal
That
act,
was not a good thing to do,
right?
especially if you've got the the Hanover and it's
Right.
hot on your tail.
Well, I think they were kept away from the field for many days. I think that's why they did wait, is because they had to. They were, I don't know if it was just a spiteful thing or what it was going on, but they, they wouldn't let anyone near the place, is what I heard for quite a while. I know just what happened.
Yeah.
Um,
Well,
well, I would say that your commander of Clan MacGillivray, Ian, will most likely uh, be at the Culloden commemoration this year. Is he not usually there, Ron?
he's usually there. Yes, he is.
Okay, yeah, that's got to be something
He
means
is
means
on
a lot to
tour
him.
right now with the Tannehill Weavers, but I'm
Yeah,
sure he made time last year to do it, so I'm pretty sure he will be. He's usually there.
yeah, that's great to know that he does that, and
Yeah.
I'm pretty sure all of our clans that can are there on a regular basis every year, and
Oh yeah, it's a pretty big celebration there.
mhm.
I see you've got the Clan MacGillivray Cup there.
I do. Yes, my friends. Ron gave me this at Robert Burns' dinner at Windham, New Hampshire, presented by Scottish Arts Center of New England. He gave us all these mugs. We were at the head table that night. So he gave us a mug and a nice calendar from his Thistle Diaries books, which is great. Ron's a poet. He has several books I'll call Thistle Diaries, I think was the first one or one of them.
Yeah, that's one of them. It's
Yeah,
I've got
Secret,
12 actually published.
what is it? Secret Scrolls and
Secret Scrawls and Strays.
Secret Scrolls and Strays, folks. Look that up. I'll spell it out down below here for you at some point. But
Just look up
uh,
Ron MacGillivray on Amazon and you'll see
yeah,
them all.
yeah. So he gave us this mug. We had a great time. Look at the Robert Burns playlist on the Touch Not channel, everybody, and take a look at that. Had a great evening as we did last year, and I look forward to many more of them with Ron. Um, yeah, Ian's been a great voice for you and a face for the clan, which a lot of clans, might I shouldn't say lack, but everyone has their own personality, a certain chief or leader. But he's one to be in the spotlight a little bit because of his musical prowess and such.
Look at I just took from the dog. My
Ron's
notes,
notes,
my notes for the meeting.
right?
Thank you very
Well,
much, buddy.
buddy, what's his name?
Jock.
Jock. That's what I thought, Jock. Well, Jock will have to recite it now that he ate it. He'll have to spit it back out.
Uh,
And come
he
on,
did. He did spit it back out. Thanks a lot, buddy.
talk about ate my homework. The dog ate his homework, my friends. Oh my gosh. Oh,
uh, he's
now,
a,
now
I
speaking
love him to death, but he's can be a real pain in the butt.
now speaking of holding banners high, which they do at the Culloden Memorial. Ron's going to be down in New York City in the U.S. I was going to say a couple of weeks, but it's a little longer than that. April the 5th, right? The parade, the
Yeah,
Tartan Day
yeah,
parade in New
yep.
York.
I think it's 50 days away or something like that.
Yep. We did a talk last spring about, I should say last year at this time about that. Look for that on the channel too. There's a whole maybe half-hour talk Ron and I did about it. He has a great time. And so when did what'd you say? 2010 was your first one or something?
Yeah,
Wow.
yeah. No, yeah, I think it was 2015. Something.
Okay. At
Yeah,
any rate, that's 10. That's the 10th year then, and maybe skip one there, I guess. But um,
yeah. Well, one of them was canceled.
yeah, but yeah, you look forward to it.
COVID.
I know you look
Oh,
forward to it, and it's a whole weekend full of festivities and related events. It must be quite an experience, Ron.
it is. We start the weekend with there's a pre-parade Kaylee
Mhm.
that is held at uh right across from the Statue of Liberty in a very nice club there, and
Yeah.
it's a really great setting. And yeah, everyone's in their best bib and tucker, and it's it's pipers and There's usually a crowd of Vikings there.
Yeah, I was just gonna say that. Yeah, that's
They
gotta
make
be
an
nice.
appearance, and
The hell yeah, guys.
they come screaming through the place and
The
with
hell
their
yeahs.
with their axes, yeah.
Yeah.
And it's a great time. I love that the best. Is they get all kinds of different kinds of entertainment.
And that's Friday night?
Huh?
That's the Friday of the weekend or
Yeah,
Saturday?
Friday
Okay.
night.
Yeah.
And actually, before that, even in the park, all the pipe bands, the young pipe bands, do little demonstrations, and that's
Uh-huh.
nice. It's just an afternoon of all piping.
Yeah.
It's and there's some quite a bit of talent there,
Right.
and but the Kaylee I love, and then of course on Saturday it's the parade.
Right.
This year they're having this event called the Scottish Hoolie at Carnegie Hall, and it features like the likes of
Yeah, the
yeah,
Hooli party. It's a yeah, anyway, it looks like a multimedia event.
it is, and but I'd love to go to that, but I'm not sure if I can fit everything in this year. But
Yep.
and usually there's another event, a post parade. I don't know if they're going to be having that this year though, with the Hooli happening at Carnegie Hall.
Right.
Dougie McLean is going to be there,
That's it. Okay, one of them. Yep.
and I can't think of all the others
Why don't
because
you ask
I
Jock?
gave my homework.
Ask Jock. Right.
Yeah, I know. Yeah, I know.
So there's a Grand Master, right? A Grand Marshal rather, kind of thing.
Yeah, this year they haven't announced it yet,
Oh, okay.
but they will be soon.
And
Eh,
they'll be at the Kaylee, will they, Friday night, that person or
Yeah,
something? Or how's that work?
yeah, they usually are.
Oh, okay. That's nice then. Yep.
Yeah, and like we've had
Gonna say Ian Fleming, but that's not right. Who's was it?
no, uh,
Sean Connery?
yeah, Sean Connery. Yeah,
Okay. I said Ian Fleming. He wrote the book. He wrote the books, but Sean, okay. I was in
that's
the
right.
ballpark there.
You were close.
Yeah. I'm a reader, watcher of not a watcher of movies, so
Uh, uh, last year was Dougray Scott, and then the year before that was Gail Porter, and there was Karen Gillian.
okay, yeah.
Brian Cox was there. Billy Connolly.
Hmm.
Actually, he saluted us, Clan MacGillivray, when we came by because well, our secretary, international secretary, used to go to a club that when he was belonged to a small little traditional band
Really?
uh, when he first started out, and
Huh.
she would go and
Neat.
see him there all the time, and she yelled up to him and told him, tell him
Yeah.
I miss you there and all that stuff, and he gave us a big salute.
Oh, that's great.
Katie Tunstall,
Okay.
Tommy Flanagan, Sam Hugan,
Right.
the
Who's the Outlander?
Outlander, right? Uh,
Okay.
Grant McTavish, who
Okay,
will be up
also.
at the
Yeah.
main games this year,
Oh yes.
and
Mr. Whiskey or something.
yeah, Howie Nicholsby, Kevin McKidd, Brian Cox again. He's a regular.
Yeah, and how many clans would you say, Ron, and things like that, do you on the street and
Oh,
such?
I think there's at least uh, uh, 50 to 75 at
Wow.
least.
Yeah, we saw some of the footage last year. I know
Yeah,
McPherson's were there in force, MacGillivrays, there was
yeah,
McBain's there.
yeah.
Um,
And
a lot of Hatton groups, and hopefully they can try to get together. That's what I like to see. All the Wildcats in force, you know.
Yeah.
If you can herd them together, it's tough to herd cats, I'm sure, but especially on the streets of New York, it's
Yeah.
got to be tough. It's tough enough in Vermont and places where I try to do it.
Yeah.
Um,
And of
but yeah,
course,
it's a great time. It's a great thing to know your friends. You meet there every year. It's got to be a great feeling to kind of, you're all converging, right, this
the
weekend.
first one was in 1999, and Cliff Robertson was the
Ah,
Grand Marshal then.
okay.
And then came Sir Sean Connery. And
Robertson, that's Donaghy. That's Clan Donaghy, I think.
yeah,
I know a few things.
yeah,
I'm
yeah, you do.
starting to get it. Well, what I meant by that was a few things in the non-cat clan. I'm starting to a couple things are starting to sink in on my noggin about the non-Hatton related subjects, you know.
Tartan Day observance on the 4th, which
Oh,
is a I won't be there then, but it's a nice little
oh, sad. That's Thursday, then the Thursday of the weekend.
yeah.
Oh no, that's Friday actually, isn't it?
It's on the Bryant Park. It's where they also have the piping, all
Hmm.
the pipers on Saturday
Yep,
afternoon. Saturday, I mean Friday afternoon.
right. How
And
how early do y'all kind of have to line up and all to get together Saturday morning, Ron?
well, they start getting us together around noon, and we probably
Oh, okay.
step off at around 1.
Oh, I was imagining early in the morning. I don't know why, but okay.
No,
Yeah,
everyone starts coming out by early in the morning, but you get to talk, to meet everyone, and
right. It was the Kaylee the night before too. What am I
yeah,
thinking?
the
You're
daily is the
not going to
night
be out there at
before.
6 a.m.
Some were a little slow getting up that morning.
I don't partake in that kind of a thing, so I wasn't thinking that. I'd be up at the crack of dawn, but I see. So
Yeah.
so there's bands with you on there's bands with you on the route, bands and
Oh
uh,
yeah.
military
Yeah.
bands of all kinds, and
Yeah.
it's got to be quite an adventure.
Yeah. It is.
Um,
Uh, I'm looking forward to it.
a lot of police bands and that kind of
Yeah.
thing.
New York City Police Band is there,
Okay.
and there's, I think, was it the Navy Band? Maybe I'm not sure.
I think that was, yeah, one of those last year. You sent me some footage of it and things. I'll try to put some more of that on here if I still have it from you, or you can resend me some things, Ron. We'll splice them on here somewhere. Um,
Okay,
yeah, the
sounds good.
West actually I think it was the would have been VMI.
Yeah, Virginia Military.
Yeah, that quite a sharp looking crew there, folks. Hopefully they'll be back this year.
Yeah.
That was a great group of kids there. Kids to me.
And we do get besides the Vikings from Scotland, they from the Hebrides. We can also have a number of bands that come over too from Scotland.
Oh, okay.
Uh,
Tattoo military band or something.
yeah,
Oh, that's what it said at the Hooli, right? The tattoo
the who
military band.
right?
If that's a title, some those
Yeah,
three
it
words.
is.
Okay. Yeah, that was one of the big draws, right?
Yeah.
Yeah. Um, well, that's good. I guess we only have probably a couple 3 minutes to polish off our talk here, Ron.
Okay.
Appreciate you
Good.
coming back on.
I'm losing it.
Thanks.
The
What's that?
dog is crying to get out.
Well, that's okay.
We're going to take care of business and my notes.
Yeah, right. Paper
Uh,
works fast. Well, we won't talk about that, but
yeah.
yeah. Well, I appreciate you coming on the Touch Knot for our little talk here for MacGillivray month. And look for some more MacGillivray content. Like I said, we already had a talk about New England calendar. That'll be on there. It's already on the channel, actually. Thank you so much, Ron. And we'll
Thank you
talk.
for having me.
All right, we'll talk next in April, face to face at up in New Hampshire at Manchester at the Indoor Scottish Festival, right? The
Correct.
12th, April 12th, the week after the parade.
All right, my friend.
All righty, Ron.
We'll see you later.
All right, touch not this cat.
Always a pleasure.
Touch not this cat.
Ah, the dog.
That's right, both. Thank you, my
All
friend.
right. Take it easy.